so far. VLPS falls in game number 4. Dog's got a 3-1 lead at this point, and that's got to be very comfortable. Now, I know that I have been in a similar position to this in the ONOG feature number 1, where I was up 3-0 versus Eversiction, then he reverse swept me.
Yeah. I think that was the day you decided. Didn't you get? Oh no. You got in the winter prelims. I think you got swept with Secret Paladin. That was the day you said never to play Secret Paladin again.
Yeah.
And then in the ONOG, you got swept with Aggro Shaman.
Zoo. I got swept with
Zoo. Okay. It was Zoo.
Yeah.
Was that the day you decided to never play Zoo again?
No, I'll keep playing Zoo. Eversiction's lineup was actually built really well to tackle Zoo.
Yeah.
And so I got 4 pretty mediocre starts, which is fine. I mean, 4 average starts. I'll take 4 average starts. And he just got just enough to fight me off every single game. I made a couple of errors in that series as well.
Every single game. I remember casting that series, and I was thinking, oh my goodness. Just finding the answers right on time. And Eversiction, of course, being the first player that's going to be joining us at PAX Prime for the finals at the end of the season. Of course, the winner for this feature number 2 will join him as the second player. So that's what's on the line here. That's what's at stake. Also a $6,000 prize pool. So that's an added bonus for these players. And Dog right now is up 3-1 in this first semifinal.
Yeah, this is a bit of a tough matchup, though. Priest versus Control Warrior. Control Warrior has so many tools that it uses to fight against aggressive styles of decks. It wants to kill basically every threat their opponent plays and then restabilize the game with its life total, using Armor Up, using Tank Up, using Shield Maiden, stuff like that. But against Control Priest, their plan is kind of to out-attrition their opponents. Like, have cards that get very effective long-term swings in the build. Harrison Jones, one of these cards, being able to take out a weapon and draw some extra cards. He's going to back this up with Death Lords. He's going to back this up with Entombs. He's just going to kill all the high-profile threats and then rely on Fatigue to win this race. But Dog has smartly done this to where he's looking like he's taking the aggressive stance. Now the Harrison Jones has clocked him for 5, and VLPS is going to have to find a way to fight against this. Sunfelter's a fantastic answer, of course. But this is the kind of position Dog needs to be playing. He needs to be finding windows of opportunity to start getting through consistent damage and keep pressure on VLPS, so he has to ineffectively use the tool at some point in the game.
Yeah, and VLPS's deck, his lineup his deck list is built in a way where has some strong points against Dog's Control Warrior deck, but it's also got some weak points. Flash Shield's not that strong because you're rarely going to find a situation where you can burst out your opponent. A lot of times it's used to just clear off a Shield Maiden with an Alkanized Soul Priest, which is still strong. But you really want those super late game tools like double Entomb and additional AoE and your own Elite Starseeker to be able to fight back, because Priest kind of does what the Warrior's going to do. They do the whole minion thing a little better because they have a hero power that can interact with the board and they can steal your stuff as well as having their stuff. But they do tend to fall a little bit behind in the fatigue battle just because, Warriors can go above 30. So I love this matchup.
The way that Elise flies around with that visual, when a player draws a card and plays it super fast, the visual from the spectator is that the minion kind of clings to the side of the board in that elevated position. That animation, just like, it looked like, it's what I imagine the Reckless Rocketeer's attack animation should be.
Yeah.
Where it just kind of like wildly zooms around. Back to normal board position. At least for both players at this point. Dog's got to be happy with his Elise. He'll be I imagine he'll be utilizing that same thing that we saw in VLPS in the Warrior game, where if he actually draws the map, there's a chance he holds onto it until he can ensure the draw of the Golden Monkey. So that way it can't be Thought Stolen, it can't be pulled up by Death Lord, things of that nature.
Yeah.
And so because of that, VLPS actually has a little bit of an advantage in this one. He's kind of free to unlock his Golden Monkey a little bit sooner than Dog would. And then also that threat of entombing on the Golden Monkey is also a big deal.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because having a lot of dead cards as a Priest in this matchup works to your advantage because it gives you more incentive to turn them into legendaries. So we talked about how one of the weaknesses of Priest is that they have dead cards, but in this matchup, it's a strength.
Yeah, there's an Alkanai he was missing a little bit earlier. Gonna get some great use out of it this turn, though. Flash Shield, taking out that Elise, and then Hero Power on that Big Game Hunter. Great turn for VLPS.
It's a little risky once again for Dog to kill the Death Lord so willy-nilly, but he realized that he played the Elise, which is the more important piece. He could have pulled out just a card True Heart from his deck, but I think he was willing to take the risk. I think it was probably like a 1 in 6, 1 in 7 chance, judging by how many minions I think he has left, like an Acolyte, you know, maybe another Shield Maiden. So he's willing to take the risk once again, saying, maybe I probably can't get as unlucky as I did in that Control Warrior mirror, so I'm just going to go for it.
You can't get unlucky forever, that's the case. Unless you're me or Randad.
Yeah.
Dr. Boom for VLPS. That's not the Entombed one either, right? Does it say if it's Entombed or not?
It should, yeah, but I don't know from Spectator if we see it right away. We'd have to like mouse over it, I think. No, it's not the Entombed one, so we got a real quick look at it there.
So still another Dr. Boom back in VLPS's deck. Dog just going to shield slam this, and imagine keep hammering away. This Boombot isn't really that significant of a threat right now. And so for Dog, like, he's running low on resources. This is the time he's got to get a lot of mileage out of these minions if he wants to make something happen here. And VLPS's tools don't really line up super well versus this board. Oh, major good Boombot there.
That's great, because now he actually has a use. Ooh, I was thinking he was going to Cabal Shadow Priest, but I guess that slime isn't going anywhere. So if he really wants to, he can just do it next turn.
That's the second Entomb from VLPS at this point, too. That's really interesting. I mean, typically you do not see a player use the second Entomb in this matchup. And I think that the fact that VLPS has already cast his own Elise, and that he can't just keep taking 5 damage over and over again, this is the kind of position the Dog was looking for, was to force VLPS to use the tool inefficiently. Now, that Golden Monkey is potentially a big win condition for him.
Yeah, it might come down to the quality of legendaries that the Golden Monkey pulls from each player. VLPS does get Justicar Trueheart first, but unlike in the Control Warrior mirror, it's not as big of a deal, because at some point you can just sort of expect that the Priest is going to be at 30 health eventually if they manage to stabilize on the board. So we'll see if Dog can pull his before his 30th card this time around. But he's running out of resources now. You mentioned earlier he had to get a lot of mileage out of his minions, but that just didn't happen, and now he's just out of stuff.
Yeah, I'm even debating the Shield Slam here. I don't blame him for this whatsoever. Is this 5 going to face, or is it taking out that Wild Pyro? Yeah, the Wild Pyromants are just so threatening. Any minion on board is really threatening for the Priest at this point. Like, he's seen that VLPS has been holding on to so many cards this game. It's very likely that he's got Felon's Chosen in hand. And if he does it, he just loses his minion. So at this point, once again, that 5 damage coming in, but now VLPS has played the Justicar, so this 5 damage isn't worth nearly as much as it was a couple turns ago. And Auchenai just such a welcome draw in this matchup, just continuing to clear minion after minion.
And you can see why VLPS decided not to play the Cabal Shadow Priest before. The reason is in Dog's hand, the Death Lord. He knows that Dog runs that double Death Lord. That's sort of what you need to try and pull out the Golden Monkey in this matchup. And that's also why Dog just, Justicar Trueheart, I suppose. That's one of the reasons why Dog didn't play it, I think. Because he doesn't want it to get stolen, and then doesn't want it to stick around for a while since he doesn't have a way to remove it and potentially pull out something that he just want out of his deck, like his Justicar Trueheart.
Yeah, getting a little bit low on cards is Dog. Deck size is also very important in this matchup. I mean, another thing about that Entomb from earlier, where VLPS chose to use that second Entomb, if he's just far enough ahead in fatigue, he can just wear Dog down. Like, the fact that the Golden Monkey ends up sticking to the board is really not that big of an issue.
Yeah.
Shadow Word Death to answer this, so just going to continue to heal up. Close to 30 at this point. All that work that Dog did, it was to get that second Entomb out. Is basically the one thing he can take away from that big investment.
Yeah. But now we got a monkey in the deck.
Needs to draw that sooner rather than later as well. Do you think he'd like to see the Justicar before or after he draws the Golden Monkey?
Oh, before. For sure. Unless he has confidence in his ability to create a Justicar Trueheart with his monkey.
Even Bash on the Northshire Cleric. I mean, the concern for Felon's Chosen is very real for Dog at the moment.
I can take the hit.
Oh, there's that Shield Maiden. Yep, above 30. Rarely you see a Priest in that spot.
Yeah. I lied. I said earlier that without Desicard Chuhar being played yet, I guess he realizes that at this point he just needs to start getting those legendaries. And he picks up an Anubarak.
And Mogre the Ogre here is actually, I mean, this is not a bad minion to have at this point. You just anything that's big is what Dog needs on board right now.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, Dog has become VLPS. That's what happens when you play the Golden Monkey. All right, we're back. But yeah, Anubarak, especially since you talked about so much the risk of using that second Entomb early, and one of those is even after Golden Monkey is played, there's a couple of legendaries that can just lose you the game. Malorn and Anubarak are two that just have sort of infinite value in the late game. They make it so it's not impossible to fatigue, at least with Anubarak, but it gets close to it, you know, because they have a minute to reload every single turn, and even if it dies, it still leaves something on the board. So we'll definitely have to see. This one's going to come down to it. VLPS needs his own monkey to combat this.
So. There's a light bomb. Not surprised to see. And Cabal Shadowpriest sticks around. If Dog had played that Foe Reaper, this would have been a really interesting turn. Kel'Thuzad even gets picked up.
Oh my goodness. The quality of legendaries for Dog is through the roof. If his last card is a Malorn, he's got like the trifecta. Like eventually you'll have Kel'Thuzad, Anubarak, and Malorn like all stick. And then it just becomes ridiculous because a Malorn gets put back in your deck and it comes back at the end of the turn. It's like, what? It's infinite Malorns.
That's the one thing every player needs.
Yeah, infinite Malorns. Yeah.
Well, Deathlord not fantastic versus Anubarak. I think that VLPS is looking at a trade here.
The thing is, Deathlord's not going to pull anything out. Oh, well. Just going to plop back in the hand.
I think Dog may be looking at just Anubarak after Anubarak, but finally that Velen's chosen. 412 taunts, nothing to scoff at. Black Knight would be bad. Well, we have a second shot at Malorn potentially.
If he's unhappy with his legendaries. The thing is, that's basically like a free extra card. Like at the very end of everything, you know?
Yeah.
The only thing is that in order to play the last Golden Monkey, he'll have to have Anubarak on the board already, or he'll have to potentially give up the Anubarak, unless in some miraculous circumstance his Anubarak turns into an Anubarak.
Yeah, Dog is going to be forced to use his Kel'Thuzad here. Part of the major pressure that's coming out here, too, is that since VLPS has a heal for 4, because of that Justicar, he's able to actually deal with the Anubarak fairly well with the Deathlord for turn after turn and start setting Dog into that fatigue state where the damage really starts to add up. And so Dog has to find a way to get this board back under control, and Anubarak's not going to do it. Like, if he just keeps playing Anubarak after Anubarak, he's actually going to lose control over this board, and pretty quickly. So the fact that he's chosen to use this Foe Reaper here is a big nod to that fact. And VLPS has an answer for this as well with the second Velen's chosen. So this could actually be the end of the game right here. Just the fact that VLPS has been able to get kind of a Titan's grip on this board and keep Dog from really pulling ahead with that Anubarak.
Yeah, that Deathlord's going to be like impossible to get through, it feels like. And I mean, Dog still might have a shot as a desperation play to Elise into Monkey, into Deathwing, or something crazy like that, but even then that means a Light Bomb pretty much seals the deal. So it's going to be really tough. And Dog just rolling his eyes. He knew that those Velen's Chosens were there. It's just I don't think he really had a choice but to sort of go all in on the Golden Monkey early enough.
Yeah. Here's the fatigue. Start rolling at this point. I don't know if Dog can climb out of this one.
All right.
He needs VLPS to make a mistake right here. If VLPS continues to trade, I think he's going to stay way ahead in this game.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he's got his sights set on, too.
I think it's going to be a second Light Bomb.
Yep, just play stuff.
Yeah, he's just going to ignore it. Okay. Oh, but the Kel'Thuzad!
Yeah, this is the kind of turn that Dog would have needed, but still with 2 Circle of Healings back behind, this is still going to be really tough. I mean,
These minions are never gonna die.
Well, Kel'Thuzad's gonna die, I can tell you that.
VLPS is, what, 3 turns ahead of Fatigue? He can draw if he wants to get closer to the monkey. But at this point, he might not even need the monkey to win the game. Just because he's getting multiple minion kills over and over again with the minions that he has on board. What's the best way to go about this?
I imagine it's going to involve some sort of circle healing. It's the light bomb. Light bomb doesn't kill that Kel'Thuzad though. Oh, it does because of the extra damage.
Double Velen's Chosen.
I forgot about that. The double Velen's Chosen actually.
That's a clutch play. That is a really big deal actually. But the thing is, now Dog gets 2 Anubaroks.
Yeah, but he doesn't have time to play him though.
Yeah, you can. I don't think you'll ever find yourself in a situation where you can play both of them, especially since no matter what, it feels like Dog still has to kill this this Deathlord over 2 turns. He can play Mogor the Ogre and just hope that the Deathlord's attack misses, and that he can load up 2 minions on the board. But that's not really a risk that I think he can take. And VLPS finally finds the map and looks like he's going to draw the monkey.
Yeah, here we go. And I don't think he's actually trading into the Anubarok this turn. Putting the 4/4 on board so that we just kill the Deathlord outright. Yeah, chooses not to.
Those are mediocre legendaries. Tinkmaster Overspark can be good, especially if you can, land it automatically onto a, like 100% onto like an Anubarok to sort of get rid of that endless Anubarok effect. But Brand Bronzebeard's not that great. Trogzor's not that great in a land where there's no more spells left in the game.
There's that map left.
Oh, there is the map left.
Oh, Confessor Paeltris.
The last card. That legendary is pretty good, and we'll see what he's going to get. Not Nat Pagel. The Beast? I don't know about the Beast.
Yeah, Dog doesn't have a way to actually kill the Confessor this turn either.
Unless he plays Mogor the Ogre and prays.
That might be the best play, honestly. Because if he lets these minions, if he keeps the Confessor Paeltris up, that's 1 more legendary guaranteed that VLPS gets. Like, that he basically just creates a card for free. And I don't know if he'll ever be able to get through to that Beast, which means that the downside will never play into effect. If he just plays a Nubarok here, it probably just gets traded into, it feels like. So, I'm not sure. Because even if you play Morgor the Ogre, first you have to land the 50% that it doesn't attack the minion that you chose. And then you have to land the 1 and 4 to attack the Confessor Paeltris, which is really rare. But it's not something that's going to happen easily. So Dog realizes that just play the strongest minion once again and finally push through the Deathlord. I don't know if this is enough, though. I mean, VLPS's board is looking so good right now.
Ooh, what's it going to be?
Extra legendaries every single turn. Captain Greenskin not like too fantastic here. But the damage is starting to pour on at this point. And I think that's the scarier thing. Dog's going to have to hope for a miracle here.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to play the monkey and hope for the best. Maybe attack into the Beast to get that extra minion, the extra attack next turn. And we'll see if he replaces what he gets with something good.
Yeah, not quite. It's going to
The
double
Skeleton
the power
Knight.
of Ostrilla.
The Skeleton Knight is also potentially infinite value. No. Wait, what happens? No, because they're T's.
What happens is the game ends because VLPS takes the board and has Confessor active.
You automatically lose Joust if it's if both players are fatigued, if I remember correctly. I know I've seen that before.
That matchup really honestly boiled down to the Velen's Chosens and that Deathlord. It just got so much value at the end of the game. The Dog didn't have an opportunity to take the board back. And despite the fact that he landed the Golden Monkey so early, he didn't really have utility in his legendaries. He just had raw power. And the lack of that utility meant the Death Lord just, a 6/14 that can be healed for 4 a turn is going to do a lot of work. And that kept VLPS ahead that entire game. And that's part of what makes the Control Warrior versus Priest matchup so very difficult, is that they get the liberty of playing their Golden Monkey afterwards. They get to continue to use all their spells effectively to kind of figure out what their game plan needs to be, and then just wait. And the longer they wait, eventually that fatigue damage adds up to so much that you can't fight through it anymore.
Yeah. That Death Lord killed 10 Anubaroks and 9 Nerubians. And it's funny because Anubarok was a boss at the end of a heroic dungeon in Wrath of the Lich King. And it's sort of funny that players used to farm that dungeon a lot for whatever type of currency that World of Warcraft used to use back then for heroic dungeons. So that Death Lord really wanted to save up his seals to buy a piece of epic loot.
Man, we're going way roleplay on this one.
Way back.